I'm going to show you how to take your cabinet doors from looking like this, very plain, to doing a makeover and getting that farmhouse distressed look. I'll show you how I did this. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is pick up some wood markers, or you can buy the paint markers, either one. And I think you could also use the stain markers as well. I went with the dark brown color. Now you can use light brown. That would give it a nice farmhouse feel too. And then you also want to pick up some Valspar antiquing glaze. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is just go over the trim on my doors with the marker, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get a small door. So this is my small door. All we did is use antique white paint and painted over them. Now you're going to take your marker and all these little grooves that's in the trim. All you want to do is just highlight those grooves and give it like a distressed look. You know how whenever you're opening the cabinets and it's the natural wear and tear, it gets dirt and dingy piled up in that. Well, you want to highlight that and make it look like it's a little old looking for the distressed look. So you're going to take your marker and all you're going to do is go in this line right here, and you're going to go all the way down. And don't worry about your line being perfect, because dirt is not perfect on a cabinet. The old, dingy, distressed look, nothing's going to be perfect. You're not going to have precise lines, so don't worry about being precise. See, that's the first line. And all it did is just highlight that trim there. So I'm going to take this side and I'm going to go down this way. If you do mess up on anything, if you mess up on any of your lines, just go back over it with some paint and do it again. I mean, it's not that big a deal. The pack of markers that I picked up is like $8, so it's not too costly if you have to redo it a few times, which is the good thing. I'm just gonna go around all the trim just like this. And see, I messed up right there, but that's okay because I'm gonna go over it with some antique and glaze, or you can go over it with some paint, either one. It's not gonna be perfect. Nobody's gonna be expecting it to be perfect, honestly. The distressed look anyways. And I'm just gonna go over this one like this. And just highlight that trim look. I'm gonna do this one around the outside, and then I'm gonna go around the inside as well. And then we'll start on the antique and glaze. See how much better that looks already, just doing that with a marker. Okay, I got all the outside trim done. This is what it looks like so far. Now I'm gonna go around the inside. This is the tricky part because these markers are a little bit bigger. If you can find the ones that has the precise tip, it might be a lot easier because this gets on the side a lot. So a couple of them that I did already, I'm probably gonna have to go back over it with white paint just to fix it just a little bit. You really don't have to worry about it, but I'm kind of OCD about it. So I'm just gonna go over it and fix the other ones that I messed up on. But that's the great thing about this is it's not costly. So it's not gonna cost you a fortune if you mess up and you have to redo something. And it's a nice little DIY project. You know, it's fun. You can do it as a family. It's a fun little art project. Just be careful whenever you get in the edges there. You can kind of see that one turned out pretty good. The first one that I did, I got it all the way up through here. That's the one I'm talking about that I'm gonna have to redo. But it's just the first one I was experimenting with just to see, you know, if I could do it, if it worked or not. So I figured I was gonna have a couple mess ups, you know, that you're gonna have to redo. That's anytime you're doing a DIY project, that's gonna happen. See, I did it with this one right here. I got it on the side just a little bit, but I mean, it's really not that bad, and it's okay because you're not gonna have precise lines whenever you're dealing with distressed looks. You don't want it to look perfect, so if you mess up, that's actually probably good, and it's gonna help your look a little bit more. I'm just gonna keep going around the edges. That one's gonna be a little bit hard to do because there is a piece of wood chip or something right there, so I'm gonna have to try to mark around that. Okay, there we go. That worked out pretty good. These cabinets my grandpa built in the 60s, and we're renovating a house, so nothing lines up on these cabinets. Nothing is perfect, so I'm not too worried about it being absolutely perfect, you know what I mean? I just want to give them a facelift, make them look a little bit better than they do. You are going to hear my chickens. Okay, there we go. And that is, see, I messed up on that corner just a little bit, but I mean, don't stress the little things. It's going to be okay. So once you go around all the outside just like that, the trim, that's what it looks like. It looks good just like this. I mean, you could leave it like this if you didn't want to do the antique and glaze on it. That's completely up to you. I got this antique and glaze, and it says just to get a wet, a damp cloth. So I just have an old damp cloth here. You can see the spots where I went over the other ones. I'm just going to open this. And I don't want to get much on here. I'm just going to dab a little bit. I just dab a little right there. And then I'm going to try to rub it in because I don't want it to be very dark. I'm going to rub it in the best that I can. And then what I'm going to do is just go around the edges where you would have natural wear and tear, where your fingers naturally lay on a cabinet, where it opens and closes, and where it gets bumped up against. That's where I'm going to try to make the most distressed marks. So I'm definitely just going to go, you just want to lightly brush down through there. And the great thing about using a damp cloth is if you get too much on or you don't like where it landed, you can always go back through with a damp cloth and wipe it off a little bit. So I'm just making, you don't want to do a pattern. You don't want it to be a pattern. You want it to be, you know, just random marks here and there. So just do it easy, a light brush, just around. And then once you get it pretty good looking, then what you're gonna do is take another part of the rag that's clean, and you're just gonna wipe over that just to where it's not so dark. You don't want it really dark looking. So you're gonna just wipe those dark spots off, and it's just gonna give it a distressed pattern, a distressed look. You can kind of see it just looks a little more distressed, and you can just keep going. You can build that up as you go, make it darker, make it lighter, however you like it. I am going to make mine just a little bit darker, add a little more on this rag, and then I'm just going to keep going. Just add spots here and there, especially around the edge. You want to get the edge because that's where natural distressing occurs. And like I said, if you mess up, don't worry about it. Just paint over it. Try it again. It's not that expensive if something happens. That's why it's such a great DIY project. Now, see how dark and dingy I got it? So I'm gonna go back over with my rag, and I'm just gonna wipe that off, all the darker spots, because I don't want mine, if you like that look, you can leave it just like that and seal it if you want. But I want mine just a little. I don't want it too distressed. Now, I am going to leave the middle clean. I tried to distress it, and it kept getting a pattern look, and I just didn't like it. So I decided I'm just gonna distress the outsides, and I'm just gonna leave the middle white. gonna wipe that extra off. I think it's starting to look good so far. So you can see just a little bit. It's kind of hard to see with the shadow, but it's getting that distressed look to it. And you just keep going around and doing the same thing. Now, once you do get finished with the antique and glaze, you do want to seal it. You want to put some kind of clear coat on it. Whatever your choice is, clear coat will be fine. I'm just going to keep going with the distressed look, the distressed pattern. I am going to do the inside trim just a little bit. I don't want to do it too much. It is kind of hard to see in the slides. I will have to show you in the sun, but it is getting a nice distressed look to it. It's starting to look very good. And that's a simple way to distress your cabinet doors if you're just looking for a facelift, something different, a different look to go with that doesn't cost a fortune, and you don't want to have to replace all your cabinets. You can just paint it, and you can get different knobs, different handles. We're gonna do probably the black ones with the copper look to them, the skinny handle look. So I think that's gonna be really good. I think the finished look is gonna be very nice. Okay, so let's see what that is looking like so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I will show you in the light what it's looking like. Okay, so here is the look. This is what it looks like compared to the normal cabinets, just the white painted cabinets with the outline trim and the distressed look. Now, it's completely optional, up to you if you decide whether you want to do the middle or not. I chose not to do the middle. I'm just going to let it get its own patina over time, which with 3 kids, it's not going to take very long. But I still have a little tweaking to do. I'm going to finish it, but this is the end look that you're hoping for. Just a nice, subtle distressed look is the look that you're going for. And then you're going to want to get a clear coat to put over them. And I hope you enjoy your finished product. I will show you what our kitchen looks like once we are completely finished with it.